Are these on now? Hello, 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 hello. I think they're on. Do I
You just,
command
there you
attention?
go. Yeah.
Is my thing on?
Do you want to try? Is it my
All right. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you had a good lunch break. So, our sessions before lunch were mainly focused on democracy, dialogue, and peace. But now we're going to shift gears a little bit and focus more on education as a force in today's world.
Yeah, and to begin, please help us welcome Facundo as he shares his personal journey of coming to UWC.
Hello, everyone. My name is Facundo. I am from Argentina, and I will talk about a little bit about how important is the UWC movement for me and for many students here, and the role of RCN in it. Well, there are many gates in this world. There are gates that try to separate us between each other, showing our differences as something bad, blaming them for every problem that we find, and trying to reduce the complexity of the human being into a couple of stereotypes and stigmas. But actually, those gates are mostly generated by something that nowadays we are seeing more than ever, the fear. Well, in a modern world in which everything is going so fast and too extreme, in which the resources get more and more scarce, and where the peace and freedom is something that many people would really, really like to have, it is common to be afraid about the unknown things, the things that are new and different for us, and to have defense mechanisms that sometimes can make us forget about the people who is next to us. But what if I could tell you that there is a place in which the time stops for a couple of seconds, or well, a couple of years? Imagine there is a place where those gates close, where peace is possible, and the words unknown or new are synonyms of learning and understanding. What if I could tell you about a place in which people actually have time to learn about the others, about the importance of our difference, and how to make a difference in this world? When I made the decision to stop university in my country to come here, I was completely sure about why I was doing it. Maybe if you see it from an academic perspective, it can look like I returned to high school even when I was already doing a career. But for me, and for many people here, this is not just a high school. It is the place that I was talking about. Here is where 200 young people from all around the world gather and pursue education with a common goal, a goal that many of us know, the mission of UWC: to use education to unite people, nations, and cultures for peace and a sustainable future. Time passes differently here in RCN, whether it's having a deep political conversation with friends until 4 a.m., or living or learning about sustainability and ESS with classmates from almost every continent, there is always some new knowledge to absorb and life-changing experience to live. In the 2 months I've been here, I feel like I've learned things that and had experience that would have otherwise taken me decades to live through, or that I probably would never have had at all if I didn't come here. I thought my Iranian friend an Argentinian card game after learning about the situation in her country. I hiked and slept in the Norwegian mountains, discovering how similar and different at the same time they can be to the Patagonian landscapes. I learned how to introduce myself in Arabic by a Palestinian friend. In global politics class, I discovered how different the concept of right and left can be from one country to another. I watched theater performances. I shared my culture with other people. I tried to swim, and I play music in a band. After all, I'm still excited about how many new experiences I will have in the next 2 years. But what I'm sure about is that when I get back home, I'm going to be a different person. As long as the UWC mission continues, as long as the magic of this place exists thanks to the wonderful people who live here, and as long as we keep learning and putting our part to make the difference, there will still be RCN. And as long as there is RCN, there will still be hope. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Facundo, for sharing your story. I think we can all agree that it was definitely very inspiring and interesting to hear about your personal experience.
So now, please give a warm welcome to our next speaker, Kai Grieg, the CEO of the United Nations Association of Bergen.
Thank you very much. So it's a great pleasure to be here today. Imagine you are newly educated and you are put on a flight, put down in a small country, and you get the responsibility to build up the educational system in a district, in a small country. That's what happened to me when I, after finishing my anthropology degree, got a job in East Timor. One of the district, Bubunaro district, I was responsible to put up the whole civil service, including employing all teachers and teaching them, agreeing with them what they were going to teach. That was very big shoes for me. It was my most life-changing experience. If I got the question, what would be my most inspiring moment in the world, that is to see East Timorese people going from being subject to an occupation to be free. And I know, this morning started with Galia talking about Western Sahara, and the situation in Western Sahara is just the same as in East Timor. And it was the pressure on the Indonesian government that changed the situation in East Timor. And I wish that Galia and all of you and me can experience that the same happens in Western Sahara as well. When I worked interviewing teachers, we had a surprise visit from one of the presidents of the World Bank. And we had a lot of questions to ask him. We asked him, what shall we do about corruption? And he answered, you have to start by education. We asked him, what should we do with child mortality? And he answered, you have to start with education. And we continue asking him questions, and he said, this is all things that should be solved by education. We also asked him for a small grant of $10,000 to build a well in the village we were standing in. And he looked at me and said, Kai, if you asked for 100 million instead of $10,000, I would have given it to you. So that is also a lesson to be learned, that sometimes it's better to think big. Maybe always it's better to think big. Not long ago, the United Nations had a goal of education for every kid to attend school. That was part of the Millennium Goals. And when we looked at the statistics, we found villages that had 120 or 140% of kids attending the school. So we should say they did very well. And how could that happen? When you put up a measurement like that everyone should attend school, what could happen is that the school doesn't work as a school. And when the kids get to a certain age, they just continue to be in the school, even if they were supposed to end the school. And you can get a high number of 140%. So in the Sustainable Development Goals, number 4 is about quality education. That the education, you should not only be at school, but what you learn should be meaningful. And that was part of my job in East Timor, to talk about what is the most important for the school children to learn. Even that, we should remember that 11% of the world children in primary school age doesn't attend school. So we should not forget that. And that was a number that was going down, but the COVID crisis meant that a lot of schools were closed and they haven't opened yet. So saying quality education, then we should ask, what is really quality education? I have put up 7 suggestions, and I want you to disagree with me so we can discuss what is the best education. So one definition is that quality education is that youth will have the skills to do sustainable choices. But if you should measure that, that measurement should be that we, after having our education, actually do the sustainable things, not only know what we were supposed to do. And next one, number 2, quality education is that we prepare youth to do things in new ways that brings us closer to the society we want, that is peaceful and sustainable. So we cannot expect to have a different result if we do things in the same way. Number 3, I think quality education is experimental because we have to do things in a different way. And one of the ways we should be experimental. For the first time in the world, I can, with my smartphone, talk to anyone, anywhere on the globe. And one way to make education better is for it to be more international, like you do here, but we could also do it over the internet. And quality pedagogy should be organized these principles. The principle of cooperation, collaboration, and solidarity. And as I think we all know, working together with people is often more difficult than doing things alone, but it's much more fruitful. So, and teaching should always be interdisciplinary. And research shows that when we do interdisciplinary education, it sticks more. You learn more and remember more. And here comes a tricky one. Schools should be more democratic. Because the way to learn democracy is to participate in democracy. And that is a challenge for schools because you have a dean that actually decides things. But you have to find a way to make it even more democratic. In the Sustainable Development Goals, number 4.7 says that to reach a sustainable future, we have to build on our local culture. It should be based on culture. And I think every culture in the world, and I'm an anthropologist, has something to learn us for how we can do our life better. But the problem is, of course, to find out what we should learn from others. It is like the expression, a stranger is a friend you haven't met. But it's the same with cultures. We have always something to learn from others. And if we put up a scorecard for United World College here in Fjaler, I think you score quite high on all these 7 qualities. There's a lot we can learn from you. But I will still give you some challenges. The first one is for us in United Nations Association to work closer with you, for you to work closer with us, that we have yearly collaboration. The next thing I will challenge you on, because UN is in the biggest crisis ever, and I will challenge you to put in your curriculum how we can make the United Nations better. And the last one, I want United World College to be an associated UNESCO school, because we have a UNESCO school network. And in the guidelines, your type of school is not included, but then we should work together to change that, so you can be included. Imagine what we can do together, and imagine what education can do as a force for change. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kai, so much for sharing those words with us.
Now, this next session is going to hone in on the importance of the missions and values which brought us all here to a United World College today.
Yeah, so please help us welcome Faith Abiodun, the CEO of UWC International.
Good afternoon. Always. Good afternoon. Much, much, much better. People never respond the first time you say good afternoon. Well, it's wonderful to really be here with you all, and thank you so much for the privilege of joining you to celebrate 3 decades of UWC Red Cross Nordic, and to reflect together on the values and the profound truth that has guided this institution for so long since its founding. And it's the same truth that has guided the entire UWC movement as well for more than 6 decades now. It's this simple reality that quality education is not passive preparation for life. It is really an active force that shapes the direction of the world. Education is the only way that transforms societies. First of all, I would like to celebrate the generations of really extraordinary human beings who have been involved in establishing this college for the vision, the labor, and the sacrifice that has made it possible for now thousands of young dreamers to come to a place like this from all corners of the world to make this really exciting pilgrimage. Many twists and turns bring people to a place like this. People come here to discover the best of themselves as well as the best of each other. They come here to deepen their own understanding of the world as it is today to a democratic regime instead became our worst nightmare. The forceful takeover once again of the military. The annulment of what was then declared to be the freest and fairest election in Nigeria's history. Imprisonment of journalists and democratic activists. The total collapse of economic infrastructure. Schools were shut down. Anything that felt like hope for a better future was instantly diminished. And so it was during times like that UWC Red Cross Nordic was born. We embraced the mission of this global movement to make education a force, to unite people, nations, and cultures for a peace and a sustainable future. And that whirlwind of global uncertainty was firmly contrasted against the hopes and the aspirations of a new generation of young people, young global citizens, people who believed that in a place like this, a picture of a better world could emerge. And I wonder what could have inspired them to believe that such a dream was possible. Because we're in school, we should talk about physics, right? So let's talk about physics. In the first law of motion, Sir Isaac Newton talked about the fact that an object in motion will continue in the same direction and at the same speed unless it is acted upon by an external force. Any physics students in the hall today? Have I made sense? Thank you very much. History repeats itself around us today, right? The world we're living in today is possibly on a fast track towards division. We're seeing a dominance of extremist political ideology. We're seeing the erosion of democratic values, as we talked about in the morning. We're seeing the drumbeats of war and total destruction all around us, the silencing of voices that are calling for peace. We must ask ourselves, what kind of force is powerful enough to change this trajectory of the world? We should be honest about the scale of the challenges that face us today. We're seeing societies polarizing at fairly unprecedented rates. We're seeing people retreating into ideological silos. We're seeing the viewing of other people whose perspectives are different than ours, not as fellow human beings to engage with, but enemies to defeat. We're seeing the rise of authoritarian movements exploiting fear and division. We're seeing people promising simple solutions to really complex problems. The institutions that have been built democratically and painstakingly over centuries are being turned down. You just talked about the United Nations, facing perhaps the greatest threat to its own existence after more than 80 years. The weight of misinformation and cynicism is really eroding trust in public organizations. So that's the current trajectory of the world. It's not towards a peaceful, sustainable future. It's almost towards destruction, fragmentation, and conflict. And like Isaac Newton talked about this object in motion, the trajectory will not change itself. And over time, things don't change. Things actually decay given time, unless conscious human beings make choices that are different than those who came before them. So we're not going to survive by wishful thinking, by passive hope, by waiting for other people to act. It's going to require a bit of force. It's going to take deliberate, sustained, and transformative force to alter the direction of the world. And so for more than 60 years, the UWC movement has really embraced this belief that education, when it's properly conceived, when it's appropriately and courageously implemented, we can be that force that makes a difference in the world. An education that empowers young people to imagine the world as it could be and equips them with the knowledge, with the skills, with a sense of agency, the moral clarity, and the courage to make that vision a reality. That's education as a force. It is deliberate, it's intentional, it's transformative. It recognizes that every classroom is a laboratory, a space for democracy to thrive, where every discussion itself becomes a practice ground for constructive dialogue across differences. And every project we undertake is an opportunity to begin to address real-world challenges, the very preparation for a life of purpose. So we must understand that when the UWC movement itself was formed, the founders of our very first college, gentlemen like Court Hahn and Lawrence Duval and Desmond Hoare, they were not simply creating another international school. They were launching what was a bold experiment. I think about it as applied idealism. It's a radical notion that education could serve as an antidote to the forces that seek to divide us. The young people themselves could become agents of positive change. And here in the Nordic region, that vision finds as a particular fertile ground. You've embraced a set of values, Nordic values: equality, social responsibility, environmental stewardship, democratic participation. Those values are naturally aligned with the UWC mission. And these societies, these Nordic societies, have really demonstrated that it is possible to build systems that prioritize human flourishing alongside economic prosperity. And so, as we embrace diversity and we maintain social cohesion, it's possible for us to balance our individual freedoms with collective responsibility. But Nordic values themselves are not merely inherited, they're not passed down by DNA. They're actively chosen, they're consciously renewed by every successive generation. You choose cooperation over competition. You choose sustainability over short-term gain. You choose inclusion over exclusion. And so those values for us represent this accumulated vision, the wisdom of societies, having learned sometimes through painful experience, that democracy requires much more than institutions. It requires citizens who are committed to making those institutions work. It requires people who choose to understand that freedom is not the absence of responsibility. Freedom is the presence of the capacity to choose responsibly. And that's where UWC education comes in. It's fairly revolutionary as a concept in the world today. The choices we make reflect the priorities we embrace. We choose intellectual rigor because what it does is it makes critical thinking possible. It becomes essential for navigating complex global challenges. Global perspectives that you cultivate here in a place like this, they make it possible for you to see the world not just in the simple terms of us versus them, and someone has to win for someone else to lose. The cross-cultural competence that you build in a place like this, it enables collaboration across the very divisions that polarize our societies. Service learning, it transforms abstract ideals into concrete commitments. But perhaps for me, the most important element of a UWC education is that it creates the literacy of agency. It makes you understand that individuals can make a difference. As small actions you take today can have large consequences, and that the future itself is not predetermined. The choices we make today can shape the future that we aspire for. And one of the most powerful aspects of education as a force is in the multiplicative nature that it presents. When we educate one person to think critically, to act courageously, to lead with integrity, what we are creating is the potential for that person to create influence with many others. You heard in the morning from David Sange and Matthias Esman about the work they've done in Sierra Leone. David came here as a young man in 2004, coming from the legacy of a country that's been ravaged and destroyed by a civil war, and imagining what kind of role he might play. And he's talked about the work that he undertook to help to repeal an unjust policy that denied countless girls access to education in Sierra Leone. If you've not seen David's book or read it, Radical Inclusion, I highly recommend it as a fantastic expose of how a UWC education, on the very first page, he talks about UWC, how that can propel a person with influence to make massive differences. When we bring diverse young people together and we help them discover their common humanity, we're planting seeds that can grow into movements. We're giving young people the permission to believe that they too can take this new worldview into places that might not look like they're ripe for it, but are desperately in need of a UWC approach to education. People like Mark Wang, who've undertaken the necessary but challenging journey of bridging this massive divide between East and West. And he does it as a proud alumnus of this college. I think that's how education becomes transformative. Not just by changing individual lives, but by creating networks of change agents, people who amplify each other's impact. And when you see UWC graduates collaborating across borders and across sectors, when they bring their global perspectives to local challenges, when they refuse to accept the status quo, they become collective forces that can change entire systems. And so, let me close with a challenge that embodies both physics and our educational mission. In physics, we learn that force equals mass times acceleration, right? In education, we can say that impact equals knowledge times action. All the knowledge in the world and all the good intentions that we carry, all the noble ideals we hold in our hearts, there will be nothing without the acceleration of purposeful action. Absolutely nothing. And so to our current students, I want to say to you that your education here is not just about what you learn, it's about what you do with what you learn. You've been equipped today with tremendous power. That power carries responsibility. Don't feel burdened, but feel responsible. Because the world needs you to be forces for change, not just in the future, but now. I've got a number of alumni in the room, so I'd like to say as well to alumni that the education you had here was not a discrete experience for you. It's the beginning of a lifelong commitment to being forces for positive change wherever you find yourselves. The trajectory of the world, I think, depends a lot on the kinds of actions that you take. The networks you've built here, the skills, your perspectives, all of those things are needed now more than ever before. And to our faculty and staff, you know this already, but you're not just educators, you're force multipliers. Every student you inspire, every mind you open, every heart you touch, they become potential agents of positive change. So your work extends far beyond these walls, and they extend far beyond today. And finally, to our supporters and to our partners, you're investing not just in an institution, you're investing in the future of the world. Every scholarship you fund, every program you support, every connection you facilitate, every building that you help to put up in a place like this, all of these things contribute to changing the trajectory of the world. I want to assure you that we are committed on behalf of the entire UWC movement to ensuring that the progress that you've made as a college for the last 30 years gets replicated many times over in the next 30. It's up to us to choose to remember that the future is not fixed. The future is ours to shape. And I'm sure we're going to shape it very positively. I wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Faith. It truly has been an honor to hear you speak today.
Yeah, so now we would like to once again welcome our beloved Rector, Natasha, back to the stage.
Thank you so much. And before I start properly, I'd like to say something very briefly about the students. Because when Facundo was speaking just now, I remembered, which I'd forgotten, that our first years arrived here only 6 weeks ago. So they got off the bus 6 weeks ago. And some of them are here running panels, adjusting microphones, and doing all of this work for us. And our second years are veterans, but they're also in the middle of what I think any former or current IB students know is the third term, which means that yesterday was the EE deadline. And this term is full of busy things, and yet here they are, all of our students so willing to help out and so talented. And that's why I sometimes forget to thank them and acknowledge that we've asked something really big of them. So to all of you, thank you so much. Yeah. Okay. So today I have two things to talk about, really, and one of them is a little bit about the history of the school, and the other is the future and where we see that we're going. And I'd like to start with a story about the college before it was founded, so you have to imagine this, but with none of the buildings. And I heard this story 2 years ago when we had a visit from a Danish politician, Bertel Haarder, and he was here more than 30 years ago, having a picnic with Thor Heyerdahl, the Norwegian explorer, ethnographer, and Her Majesty Queen Sonja of Norway. So it's not a standard picnic that we have at RCN. And there's lots of details in this story, but there's one part that really stuck with me, which is that Bertel Haarder said, he asked Thor Heyerdahl a question. He said, "Mr. Heyerdahl, all of the world that you have seen, is there anything left in this world to be discovered?" And the response he got was, "Really, this is a really silly question. Why would you even ask me this?" And it was embarrassing for him. But I really love this question. For me, this is a question that I've actually thought about probably every week since. And I love it because it contains this idea of discovery, and so much of RCN is about discovery. Our students and all of you, you know that you get on a boat and a plane and a car and a bus, and you drive and drive and drive, and you come all the way to what feels like the end of the world. And here you come and you find yourself and you find other people, and really you find the whole world here in Fjaler. I also really love that this story involves people coming here in small groups and discussing things and planning things and asking silly questions, because silly questions are really important. And in doing that, they put together one of the many pieces that led to nearly 3,000 people coming here, and that's allowed those young people to also make a difference in the world. And I have another story about another trio of people. And these three people are Ivar Lund Mathisen, who's here and who's contributed for 40 years to this college, Magna Bjørgane and Tom Gresvik, whose families are here. And they also came to Fjaler, you can see here, to discuss, to plan, to take a really wild idea, which is to put a college here and bring people from all around the world and make it happen. And this story, and the first story, this is the RCN story. You come to Fjaler to talk and to discuss and debate and disagree, and you leave Fjaler ready to act. That's what RCN is all about. And it's a huge, huge task. So many people contributed at the beginning. Politicians, the mayors of Fjaler, and please note the plural, because it took a long time. The Song of Fjordane Red Cross, chairs of the board, chairs of the council, and so many people that it feels dangerous to start listing them. So today we're very honored to welcome so many of you back, all the family members of those who were instrumental, and to thank you for all of this hard work, for the energy and idealism that it takes to bring something like this to life. Okay, so those of you who know this campus might have spotted this on your walk around yesterday. It's new, it's out on the bench by the Hög, and when yesterday in the Lavo, I was talking to some students, and they said, what will we call this bench? And what they were referring to is that we do have a bench that's very special, and it's a bench that you go, if you're an RCN student, when you have a problem that you are not going to try and solve anymore. It's called the breakup bench, so you know. Hopefully you've never been there. But this bench is the opposite of that bench. So we hope that this bench is an inspiration for future generations of RCN students and visitors, and a reminder that when you come here, you have an important job. And your important job is to come here, be with people like you, be with people not like you, to talk out your differences in the day room, in the classroom, by the fjord, sitting on this bench, and that you leave enabled to make a difference in the world. And I, for many reasons, think this bench is a beautiful addition to campus. One of those is that I really love rocks, and I think that's very handy if you live here, because we have no restaurants, cinemas, cafes, but we have lots and lots of rocks. But even if you don't like rocks as much as I like rocks, if you go and look at this bench, you can see that it is really a very special piece of rock. It's made of a kind of conglomerate, which you find in Lambert, which is the westernmost settled point of Norway. And look up close, you'll see all these different pieces of rock that form it. So all these different shapes, all these different sizes. And we've cut this rock and we've polished it, or we've had someone else do it. And now you can see all of these shapes there. You can see the shapes and spaces that they occupy. And I think for many years, this college has been a place that our students have come to figure out, who are they? What kind of space will they occupy in the world? And we hope and believe that what they've learned here is that diversity means finding what's beautiful in the ways that we're different. And that a UWC education is about striving towards a world which fits the people and not molding people to fit the world they find outside. It's a tremendous legacy to know that so many people have come here and have discovered a place, perhaps for the first time, where they can truly be themselves, and which they can leave knowing that there's a space for all of us as we are in the wider world, but if there isn't, it's our job to make one. And I would invite all of you who are students or who have been students at UWC to think about how much it has meant to you, and to know that places like this don't happen by accident. They happen because of the dedicated people who make them happen. So for this legacy, and for the future generations of RCN students, we're so grateful to all of those who made this college happen. And we have dedicated this bench to you. Thank you. I'm still going. And so now I'm going to talk a bit more about the future of the college. I'd just like to say, first of all, thank you for this photo, to look at our Danish teacher who answered the call. I need a really great photo of students on the mountain, and this is the one she sent me. We're so lucky when we think about the future of the college that we're not starting from scratch. We're building on foundations that were laid here from the very beginning. And first and foremost, and as I've said, this place is a place of intense self-discovery. You learn about the world, you reflect back on what it means for you, and you discover yourself through these experiences. All of our alumni have stories to share about the intensity of the learning that comes from living together in this deliberately diverse community, negotiating challenges, understanding others, and problem solving together. We solve small problems, the temperature of the room, are you allowed to gut fish in Norway House, small problems, and we solve big problems. We talk about world issues. This experience really is unlike any other. But for it to succeed, there's one thing we need above all, and that is to bring talented young people here from all over the world. And for us, this diversity is not only about nationalities, although that's important. Many schools can pose with flags, but what we want to do is this: ensure that we bring young people of promise and potential and offer this experience to them. And when we talk about diversity, we don't just mean passports, we mean socioeconomic diversity. We mean students from conflict zones. We mean students from refugee backgrounds. We mean students of varying physical abilities. And we wish to be able to bring these students here without regard to ability to pay, because we know that we can find talented students all over the world. But the opportunities are not distributed like that all over the world. And I would say that this is the most important thing that I will do, I hope, as rector, and that all of the previous rectors have protected so carefully, is our ability to do that. And what that really means, of course, is scholarships. For us to bring together the students who make this place what it is. And when they're not here, it's not the same, because I'm here in the summer, and it's not the same without you. What we need is the relationship that we've had for many years, and for which we're so grateful, with the Nordic government. And we need to ensure that we are carefully managing our finances and building an endowment that will protect our ability to provide scholarships in the future. So this, I think, for me, as rector of this college, is the most important thing for us, that we can bring students here and that we can pay for them to do so. The second thing that we need is to make sure that we have a safe, accessible campus that meets our needs. If you're really eagle-eyed, you'll have spotted that this is not what the campus currently looks like. You see there is another building there right now. We need a safe, functional campus, but we also need to be able to spend time together, which is why by 2030, we aim to have begun work on a new extension to the Cantina building. The cantina is not just a functional space, it's not just a kitchen. This is where we live, this is our home. And we all know that the kitchen and the dining room are the heart of the home, and that's true for us too. As you can see here, this new building will offer us more chances to be together outside, enjoy the natural environment, and inside. It's, oh, so nice. Yeah. Yeah. We could call this Cantina 2.0. It's the same, it's just more beautiful. But enough space to all be there at the same time, which we don't have right now. Right now, we rush through our lunches, and we don't have time to be together. The idea of this is that our home, the heart of our home, gives us a place to spend time together. And downstairs, we're planning an extension to the library. Yeah. So more spaces for us to work together, to collaborate, more spaces for the teachers to work together and with the students. And the idea of this project is that we preserve RCN as a small village, a village where we live together, we work together, we eat together. But of course, the RCN experience is about more than just buildings, and it's not only about being here together. We know that this can be a challenging place, and we have to admit that it is challenging on purpose. The past 5 years have been challenging, I think, for all of us in international education and in the world, as we've navigated pandemics, we've navigated a changing political climate, and all of this has provoked conversations at the college about what is this education for, what's necessary for our students now, and what will they need in the future. And for us, when we answer these questions and we look forward to the future, we find them by looking closely at what's always mattered for us. What's important to us and who we are can be found in the name of our college. We are the Nordic College, and we are the Red Cross College. And so this is why we have set this objective: educate. An experience guided and inspired by the Red Cross, our Nordic context, and the UWC mission and values, so that our students can have an impact on the world. And when we talk about Nordic here, firstly, we talk about being founded by collaboration amongst nations. This is one of the most special things about this college. It's not hosted by one country. Our host students come from many nations in the region. And we're not talking about cultural manifestations. We're not talking about woolly jumpers and fiskekake. When we talk about Nordic here, we mean grounding ourselves in core values that you find here in this region. Trust, inclusivity, consensus, we hope, responsibility, independence, and autonomy. It means that we reaffirm a commitment to giving our students autonomy in their learning, inside the classroom and outside the classroom. And we look for structures for problem solving together and for discussion. It also means that you might find our students out conquering a mountain, but you also might find them enjoying the simpler pleasures of going for a walk and finding a rock and eating a chocolate bar and being outside. And through all of these experiences, they can discover the distinctive contribution of this region to peace and sustainability. And in the course of those reflections, discover more about themselves and where they've come from. We are so lucky, as you're all seeing today in this glorious weather, to be here in this beautiful physical environment, offering us the chance to be outside in the mountains, on the fjord. And when we do that, we discover not only our own physical capabilities, but also compassion and service to others. And we find the beauty and wildness of the landscape, and we find the unique way of life that exists here. And what does it mean for us to be the Red Cross College? So you can see I went to a special effort to get photos of the current students so that they would respond so positively to my pictures. Yeah. What this means for us is that all of our students will engage with the Red Cross principles and develop their own commitment to service in whatever form that may take. And the reason I chose this picture is because the most fundamental of all of these principles is the principle of humanity. And that's one of the most important things you learn by living here. Living here together, working together, developing service projects together, going on expeditions together. All of these experiences are a constant reminder to our students of our shared humanity. And they allow them to discover and rediscover the important common threads of the human experience, as well as our differences. We believe that this experience and understanding is what gives all of our students the impulse to be of service to others, and to know that all of us have a responsibility to alleviate the suffering of others. And of course, all of this work enabled and supported by our dedicated team of teachers, coaches, mentors, and you find them in the classroom and you find them in our support staff at the school. All of those who work here have chosen this particular vocation. I think you all saw this morning how wonderful our students are and how difficult their questions are. And this is what we've chosen to spend our lives doing. As part of our strategy, we seek to define the work we do as educators more clearly and become a center for excellence so we can share our distinctive experiential pedagogy. But after all this, what is next? So, amplify. And we have this joke that we make that we are Norway's best kept secret. But like many jokes, it contains an uncomfortable truth, which is that we think we are too quiet in this region and we've been too quiet for too long. By 2030, we want to be widely recognized. And we want to do this through our partnerships with governments and partner organizations. I think today has been an excellent example of how our work is amplified when we work together. And finally, after 30 years, we have a network of nearly 3,000 alumni, and they are part of a wider network of 85,000. So as part of our strategy, we want to activate this network to make it easier for our alumni to go out in the world and have that impact. We want to capture stories as we've done in this book, and that's just the beginning of sharing the work that we do. Today, I began by talking about discovery. All of those who spend time here know the transformational power of our experiences and the fundamental shifts that take place in our students as they engage with the question of who they are, as they discover the world and they consider their role and ability to bring about change. And as we look forward to 2030 and beyond, we believe, as we have always believed, and as the UWC movement has believed since its own foundational moments, that students who come here discover that there is much more in them than they know, and that this knowledge means that they are unwilling to settle for less than a life spent in small ways or in big ways to make the world a more peaceful and sustainable place. Thank you.
Okay.
They all dip.
I'm really glad we didn't cut Natasha off too soon, otherwise we would have missed all the lovely oohs and ahs while we were looking at the lovely photos of the new cantina. Thank you, Natasha, for those words as well.
And now for our final speaker, please help us welcome Mamti as she shares her personal experience of attending a UWC.
Hi everyone, I'm Mamti, a second year from Senegal, and it's a great honor to be standing here to contribute as a student's voice. At first, when I got nominated for UWC RCN, I was a bit worried about facing the cold and the darkness, particularly coming from an intertropical country where the lowest temperature I encountered was around 16 degrees. But yeah, as a naturally adventurous person and curious, I like to discover new places and to travel, and I was looking forward to it. But before coming to UWC, I studied in an all-girls elite school, where success was measured entirely by grades. For me, education was about excelling academically, achieving high marks, and meeting expectations. But when I arrived at UWC, I realized that life and learning was so much more than that. Here, education is not just about books and exams. It's about life skills. How to adapt to a completely new environment, how to live with people from over 80 cultures, 80 different backgrounds, and how to open my mind to perspectives very different from my own. One of the most transformative lessons has been listening to the stories of my peers. Coming from a country like Senegal, where we do not live with active conflict, I had never truly understood what it meant for education itself to be a privilege. At UWC, I have sat beside classmates who have lived through wars, humanitarian crisis, and oppression, experiences that often denied them the very access to school that I had always taken for granted. Through these human stories, I began to understand that peace is not an abstract concept. For some, peace means the chance to walk safely to school. For others, it means the freedom to speak their language or simply to live without fear. This has changed the way I see education, not as a competition for grades, but as a tool for empathy, for understanding, and for peace. That, to me, is a true gift of UWC. An education that teaches us not only how to succeed, but how to live together as citizens of the world. So, as we celebrate our 30 years, I carry with me this lesson. Life is about building connections, learning from the interactions we make, and to improve toward the best version of ourselves in this universal civilization, in which any citizen of the world will have to give their contribution and take from those of others, as believed our first president, Leopold Sédar Senghor. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mamti, for those beautiful words.
And that wraps it up for our program today. Once again, thank you to all of our guests for taking the time to celebrate with us and share your experiences and knowledge with all of us. It truly means so much, and you really made the entire celebration that much more amazing and special.
Yeah, and thank you so much to all of our students and everyone else who attended as well. We greatly appreciate all of you being here. And now for some logistics. So right after this, everyone has workshops to attend, which will happen in the different classrooms, and everyone should know where they're going. For our guests, if you're not sure, you can find one of the students who will hopefully direct you to which classroom it should be in. And also we will have another anniversary celebration in the auditorium at 8:30, and all students should be seated by 8:15 because the doors will close at 8:20, and that will happen until 10 p.m. tonight.
And then tomorrow at 10:30, there will be more activities being held, including hiking, archery, boats, outdoor leader activities, the regional bazaar, and a campus tour. And then there's going to be a flag parade at 1:15, so make sure to be at the student village at this time. And then, yeah, once again, thank you everyone for being here. It was really amazing. You guys made this so special.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Can you see names?
Yeah, that's okay. She will come in there. And she will take me. We will have to. I will give her in the beginning. I want to do it. And you can also take the food and Han må dras til side.
Your Majesty, County Governor, Mayor, County Mayor, Your Excellencies, staff and students, welcome to this evening's celebration of 30 years of RCN. We are celebrating our achievements and our commitment to our mission to make education a force to unite people and cultures for peace and a sustainable future. We are also here to celebrate all of you who have contributed to this in so many ways. And we are indeed here to celebrate the theme of the anniversary year, Imagine. Most great projects and leaps of progress come about from an ability to imagine a better future and how to achieve it. A group of people imagined that an international school with a mission of peace could be located by the Flekkefjord in Fjaler. And many worked hard to make UWC Red Cross Nordic come to life, from local politicians to enthusiasts at the Red Cross. But without the idea and education from especially Tom Gressvik, Magne Bjergene, Bjørn Rønneberg, and Ivar Lund Mathisen, and others, we would not have had a 30th anniversary to celebrate. We honor their work of imagination and grit. Thank you. I also want to extend our deepest gratitude to the Queen, our patron. The Queen's determination, wit, and imagination helped secure the Nordic states' funding and ownership. And this is actually the only Nordic school in the whole world. And we are so grateful for the Queen's genuine interest in youth and support of education as a force for positive change in this world. And except for in the COVID years, the Queen has visited this college every second year, hence meeting all year groups in these 30 years. Almost hard to imagine. Dear Queen, it touches our heart. Thank you so much. But state funding could not develop the school alone. So I want to thank the Høeg family and foundation and the Andresen family for their contributions and loyalty for so many years. It's visible on the campus today. Thank you. Unfortunately, as has been said earlier today, it needs more imagination today to imagine a world in peace. And that is why UWC is more needed than ever. The program today has reminded us of the challenges, but also shown some paths going forward through education, dialogue, and holding on to human dignity as a universal value. The Red Cross, with its crucial work and values of humanity, neutrality, and voluntary work, couldn't make us more proud of our partnership. Thank you. There are now nearly 3,000 alumni from RCN from 152 countries. And the anniversary publication which you have received highlights a story from each cohort, showing the individual impact, but also the impact on society as a whole. On behalf of the board, I want to thank Natasha and Kendall and all staff, amazing staff. And I also want to thank past directors here in this audience, past staff, and board chairs, and everybody who has given their contribution. And also a special thanks to the whole team who made this weekend possible. In front and behind the scenes, in the kitchen, in the office, the gardens, the cleaning, all under the coordination of Leonora Kleiven. And a personal thank from me goes to you, students, because every time I leave this place, I come away with inspiration and hope. Thank you. And lastly, we thank the local community for welcoming the whole world to Flekke. And I think that's my cue to introduce a favorite local who lives with his sheep and his partner down the road. The mayor of Fjaler, Leif Jarle Espedal, sorry. Welcome.
Your Majesty, Your Excellencies, and distinguished guests, and all United World College friends. Today, we are gathered to celebrate perhaps the most important institution in Fjaler, which over 3 decades has left a deep mark, not just in Fjaler, but in Norway, in the Nordic region, and far behind its borders. United World College Red Cross Nordic has given Fjaler and our region something truly unique. For 30 years, RCN has helped shape Fjaler into a more open and inclusive community. New impulses have come here with young people and employees from all over the world, enriching our local community where diversity is part of everyday life. And nowhere else in the world can you experience all the world's flags in the parade in our National Day. There is no doubt that RCN has made Fjaler more attractive as a place to live, work, and to be a part of a community that extends far beyond the municipal borders. The local community and host families have a central and important role for RCN. Families have opened their homes and included students as a part of the family. Students have become an important part of the activities of voluntary organizations. This has created a sense of belonging and lasting bonds among young people worldwide. And the local community gets something in return. New friendships, a richer and more diverse community, new perspectives, and a daily reminder that the world is bigger, but at the same time closer than we might have thought. Thank you all, to all our good friends and supporters for making all this possible. Her Majesty, the patron of RCN. I would like to thank the Queen for important support of our RCN. This support has been crucial for the RCN and is greatly appreciated. For Fjaler, the support has reminded us of how valuable it is when ideals of peace, understanding and diversity take root in the concrete community. Congratulations, United World College Red Cross Nordic. Thank you for the first 30 years. May the next 30 be just as rich in hope, cooperation and faith in humanity. Thank you.
Hello? Ah, perfect. Your Majesty, esteemed guests, staff, and student, we would like to welcome you so much to the 30th anniversary RCN Imagine Show.
Ooh. Thank you so much for the speech just done just now. My name is Alvaro. I'm from Spain and the United States.
My name is Leia. I'm from Norway, France, and the United States of America.
And we're going to be your host for today.
Now, Alvaro, this weekend we've got to celebrate the school that means so much to us, the place that we now are so fortunate to call home. And I was thinking, this place really is such a multicultural place if you just look at all the flags hanging behind you.
Yeah, I mean, we're 200 students from over 80 different countries, so we represent a big part of the world.
I'm so glad you put it that way, because here is our first act. We are the world.
Ooh.
Oh, send their hearts so they know that someone cares, and our lives will be stronger and free.
Wow.
Hello?
Wow. Thank you for that amazing performance. You know, Leah, there are 18 UWCs across the globe, but I think what makes this one so unique is our link to Red Cross.
I absolutely agree, and I can say that so many of our students, including myself, choose to come here because of the amazing collaboration we have with the Red Cross. And that wouldn't be possible without the Norwegian Red Cross. And I'm so excited to welcome our next guest, Siri Hatle, the president of the Norwegian Red Cross.
Thank you, Your Majesty, dear friends. What a fantastic and memorable day this has been. It has been such a joy to meet with the students, the staff, and friends of the college, and to feel the energy and spirit of this community. And also also to listen to discussions and reflections from knowledgeable and dedicated participants. When celebrating this anniversary, I first and foremost feel very grateful. Grateful to Your Majesty, Queen Sonja, who was a strong supporter of the college and the humanitarian principles and values it is founded on. Thank you. And I'm grateful that they chose exactly Fjaler 30 years ago. I'm one of many who has taken advantage of the fascinating and beautiful nature of the western coast of Norway to go hiking and seek refuge from the realities of the world. A world that has become smaller, more challenging, affecting us all. A world where respect for humanitarian values and principles is needed more than in a very long time. Realities in a world that is more difficult to escape from, even in the beautiful sceneries of Fjaler. Therefore, and above all, I feel very grateful when meeting with the students today. Grateful for the dedication they show to the humanitarian principles and values. Grateful for the hope you provide. Hope in a future where the young generation better will safeguard the humanitarian norms that mankind has taken generations to agree on. So, congratulations to all on this anniversary, and thank you for the partnership, for the hope you provide, and the future we are shaping together. On behalf of the Norwegian Red Cross, I wish you all the best. Thank you for your fantastic and important contribution, and good luck with the continuation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Siri.
You know that I've only been here a year, but I've heard a lot of conversations about which part of Norway is the best. Is it the north, the south, the east, or the west? Now, what do you think?
Well, I am a little biased. With the beautiful bunad I'm wearing, I am from Bergen, and I must say, I love all parts of Norway. But look around you guys. Look at this beautiful place we're in, and the beautiful country that's around us. And yes, I'm biased, but I will say proudly, I am so proud to be from the west part of Norway. And with that spirit, I am so excited to introduce the County Mayor of Vestlandet to speak for us now. Thank you.
Your Majesty, that was a lot of an introduction, but there is an expression used in Norway when our local community excited over being location for visitors from abroad, and we share the glimpse of being just in a moment of the Walk of Fame. We say, today the world was here. I'm so grateful for the foundation of RNC 30 years ago. And after 30 years, we celebrate today's international school with 200 students from 90 countries and all the alumnus too, through all these years. Students, I'm so grateful and proud that you took the choice of staying 2 years here. Make a love yourself of your choice. I knew you could, I knew you could. And that shows this wasn't a glimpse. The world is constantly present here. Represented by youth, it's an important international meeting place for peace and sustainability. more needed than ever. And I also believe this school is our Queen's apple of her eye. The RNC, with its values and strive from you all, touches even the hearts of us all, and give hope for the future of mankind. I was asked to make my greetings short because there is an ongoing show. I don't need to use more words tonight, so I just say, dear staff and friends of UWC RCN, keep up the good work. The County Council of Vestland way of showing continued support and encouragement is through a gift of 30,000 Norwegian kroner, which you may use as you see best to celebrate this year. Let the world continue to stay here for the years to come. Congratulations. Thank you for listening.
Tusen tack till Jonas Askeland. Now,
here at RCN, we have a lot of shows, and a lot of them are really fun, but some also have some really deep meanings.
I definitely think so, and aligning with the themes we've gotten to explore this weekend for our amazing guest speakers and our own staff and students, democracy, dialogue, peace, talk a lot about freedom of speech, a theme that often comes up in discussions, videos, classes at RCN, but also through our students' art, our students' performances, and how we choose to express ourselves in these important issues to us.
So without further ado, please give a warm welcome to Alicia, who will be dancing, and Bekayin, who will be playing the piano. so much for that really moving performance.
Thank you. Well, we are so lucky today that we have so many of our own alumni amongst us in the audience, and our current students have gotten to talk to them and see what life looks like after UWC, the amazing opportunities, which, speaking of, didn't you do something pretty cool this summer?
Yeah, no, this summer I had the opportunity to go to Washington, D.C. and work with the World Bank. And while I was there, I saw this poster, and it said that Faith Aboudion was going to come and do a talk.
Well, that's funny you say, because Faith Aboudion is our amazing executive director of the UWC International, and we are so lucky he will be giving the next speech for us.
Your Majesty, distinguished guests, lovely friends, it's such a pleasure to be here with you tonight to celebrate 30 years of UWC Red Cross Nordic. I bring greetings from the International Board of the United World Colleges and from your fellow UWC schools and colleges across the world. We've spent a lot of time today reflecting on the journey to this point over the last 30 years. But I'll go a little bit further and think about what it's been like for the last 63 years of UWC. When this movement was founded with the establishment of Atlantic College in 1962, it was a generation of people who had seen some of the worst of humanity. People who had seen the First World War and how destructive it was for this world. They had lived to see the Second World War. They were living through the Cold War. And everything up until that point made them question whether it was the cause and the hurts of humanity to live through constant conflict. And they decided that in their time, it will not be so. They decided that the world must come together and that we must chart a path to the future, a future characterized by peace, harmonious coexistence, and sustainability. And to actualize that dream, they established an institution designed from the beginning to be the first of many. And here we are, not just one school, but 18 fantastic institutions, each of them contributing in their own ways to helping to shape a more peaceful and sustainable world. And here at RCN, we've had the chance to reflect together on the role that this college continues to play in making not just this country, not just this region, but the entire world a much more peaceful and sustainable place to live in. I'll highlight 3 things that we're particularly proud of across the movement about this college. When we think about UWC Red Cross Nordic, across the UWC movement, we celebrate the fact that first and foremost, this college enjoys such wonderful patronage from the Queen, and by extension, the governments and public institutions across the Nordic region. For us, it's such a model. It's a wonderful example of what's possible when multiple individuals, institutions, and governments come together with a singular purpose to help to make the world a better place. We're very proud of the public support that this college enjoys. We look forward to much more of that in the future. Secondly, we think about the longevity and the unmatched commitment of the faculty and staff who have come to work at a place like this. There are people in this place who have been here from the very beginning. There are many others who have committed decades of their lives now to helping to shape this place. And over the course of this weekend, we've met many of you who've been board members, council members, committing decade upon decade to helping to make this place work. We think about that, and we're really grateful for all that you've contributed. And the third thing, perhaps most exciting, is the adventure and the sense of entrepreneurialism from the alumni of this college. Everywhere you go across the world now, you can find UWC RCN alumni working individually and collectively to help to make their corners of the world much better than it has ever been. And we are joined this evening by some of them. I want to thank you all for everything you have done. On behalf of the UWC movement, it's such a privilege to see this college grow from strength to strength, and we wish you all the best for the next 30 years. So because I've talked about the alumni as some of the best things this college has ever made possible, it is my privilege to welcome one of such, a tremendous ambassador for this college and a gentleman who made it his life's cause to transmit his own experience to many more people like him. Please welcome Mark Wang.
Thank you, Faith, for your introduction. Your Majesty, dear UWC family members, it's such a joy coming back to my mother college, where this place changed my life. 30 years ago, I was sitting in a wheelchair in one of the rehabilitation hospitals in Beijing after a terrible airplane crash accident. 28 years ago, when Her Majesty visited the rehabilitation hospital where I rehabilitated, she met with one of the important men, that it was the president of China Disabled Persons Federation, who happens also to be the president's son at that time, Mr. Deng Xiaoping's son. And there, Your Majesty, you gave a scholarship to select one student from China, from Disabled Persons Federation. After all, I was that lucky one. 2 years here was so wonderful. I took every single opportunity that the college gave to me, from being hardworking in the classroom to be a crazy member that try and ski with the 2 crutches, even try to become a kayaking instructor to contribute to the local community. And also to these wonderful moments, I've shared a late night discussions with the friends I made all over the world. Day room, probably that many of the students here, you love your day room discussions. And there, I've learned with my friends how we, on one hand, love each other. On the other hand, we need to bridge our thinkings. We have to meet. We have to experience these deep discussions. So we agree this world is a wonderful place where we all call it home. Peace can be achieved when we are sharing these late night discussions with a good plate of cooked pasta. That was actually also the start of my thinking. How can I contribute to UWC mission? How can I create a college like this wonderful place where we bring people to meet, the young generation need to meet more and more often. It was also in this place, in this room, when I received my diploma. I told the founders of this college, Mr. Tom Graswick, also Magna Biagna, and my principal Rektor at that time, I want to take this challenge to build a college in China. At that time, I was 19 years old, with big, bold dream, with 200 krona left in my pocket, and 2 suitcases still to carry. But I knew I'm not alone. I knew when I mentioned to my dreams, to my good friends, Tom and Magna, and many teachers who are also here, you encourage me. They encourage me. I know one person's dream is only a dream. But if I share and I continue to share this dream with many people, even with Her Majesty, the dream maybe one day come true. That's how I continued for another 15 years. That's how Changshu UWC was founded. It was a dream, but now this dream have come true and have continued for the last 10 years, educated in a city of Changshu on a beautiful island, 2,500 alumni. That was because the start of the generosity of this college. Without the 2-year scholarship, I've never dreamed how my life would be. Forever, I appreciate Your Majesty's visit to China. Forever, I appreciate the scholarship the college have awarded to me. I know the only way that I can give back is to carry what the college have taught me. I continue not only to build a college, I want to continue for many more years as alumni. We need get together as a force to make this world a better place. Dear student, you're not alone. Out there, 80,000 of us. Imagine if we got together, if we unite our force together, how powerful that force can be. I am one out of 3,000 alumni from this beautiful place. And also, I was one of the very fortunate one that could join in the early stage. I remember with the conversation with Tom when I asked him, what is your secret sauce to make a college happen? He said to me, you have to be patient. It took him 10 years to build this college together with a very, very dedicated group of people. It took me 15 years to make UWC Changshu to happen. But I knew there would be many of the good ripple effect happens in every corner with the 3,000 alumni from this college, with 80,000 alumni worldwide. Today, we heard a wonderful presentation from Natasha. We need a better canteen. We need a better library. I want to encourage all of our supporters, all of our alumni. Let's continue to support this college. After 30 years, we are stronger. Here, I also want to give back to this college. I have spoken with the chair and also our very hardworking lady, Liu, and I'd like to contribute back to this college by giving a gift. I'm sure that there will be many more of alumni who will join later, but my gift, hope, can be a part of the cornerstone to our next canteen, to our next of the library. Soon I will send that gift, and I want to thank the college forever. Thank you.
You know, me and I just recently discovered that actually the reason why we wanted to come here was very similar. We wanted to learn about new cultures. And this next act does just that. we're going to take a trip to the Himalayan mountains, to the country, or to the place of Tibet.
And they're going to perform a tendrel traditional dance for us, which is a celebration of unity. So without further ado, please welcome the Tibet traditional dance. Thank you so much for that beautiful performance.
Yeah. Throughout my 1 year here, I think one of the nicest things that I got to do is learn about the Norwegian culture by working with the local community, and honestly even picking up a few words in Norwegian.
Do you mind sharing with us the little Norwegian you learned?
You put me on the spot, but jeg elsker Norge.
Well, with that sentiment in mind, we are so excited to welcome our next act, which is a collaborative piece between Dale, our closest we will call it a city, our closest city, and the UWC students will perform a beautiful dance piece.
Wow, thank you so much. That was, really got the energy going.
Well, this evening we've seen so many different forms of art from our students, from dancing to singing to music. One we've yet to see is spoken word.
Yeah.
Well, this next act is just that. It's a beautiful, self-written poem from our own Esa Tulum.
Yeah. And it will be accompanied by Asa, who will be playing the piano.
I have a dream. Oh yeah, I have a dream, a nice dream. In the middle of a forest, a man I guess came across to live. He was not alone. There were many other people that he didn't know. Will they be kind toward him? I don't know. In the middle of that forest, the man were able to have new friends, able to have nice neighbors, able to access help when needed, and able to share what he has with others. In the middle of the forest, they created a beautiful village. But in the middle of my dream, a lion arrives. Of great beauty it had still found with its heavy legs, it come to destroy the village. The peaceful village which had nothing but love between inhabitants. The lion attacked, villagers panicked, Lion attacked and villagers were united. The lion attacked and villagers fighted. Why am I telling you that story? Why am I telling you the story of my dream? It's because it's full of meaning. Because at the end of my dream, the lion fled and the village again found its peace. The forest is the universe, the village is earth, and we are the inhabitants. In this world where some problems are occurring, in this world where children still suffering and crying, let be these kind humans who stand for peace, let be these villagers who fight for peace, and UWC is a great example. Creating a world to unite people, that's for me a great example. Simple meaning of love, it's just a great example. See how it's beautiful together. Somehow let's always be together, because there's no greater pride than celebrating difference. There's no greater pride than celebrating human values. There is no greater pride than celebrating difference. And let me end my poem by saying, Her Majesty the Queen, ladies and gentlemen, the world is ours. For future generation, we better be conscious. For future generation, we better be harmonious. Let's stand all for peace.
Thank you so much, Natasha, for that beautiful poem, and thank you so much to Asa for that amazing accompaniment on the piano.
Yeah, thank you so much. Unity and UWC are always very linked, and we always talk about unity. But what are some ways that we see kind of unity within UWC Red Cross Nordic?
Well, I think UWC is such a special experience. We all live 5 in a room, which I think you need a certain amount of unity to make that work. We live on campuses together, we do classes, we do everything together. We are 200 people, so by the end of the 2 years, you get really close with every single one of them. But we also talk a lot about unity through other parts of our life, through the extracurriculars we do, the clubs, the things we engage in, the music pieces, and the dances.
I mean, very well said, and that links perfectly to the next act, which will be performed, they will perform, We Are One.
Hola, hola, I'm Vicky from Venezuela. Happy anniversary, RCN.
Hello, my name is Sam and I'm from China. Happy 30th anniversary to RCN.
Hello everyone, my name is Rim Yudin and I'm from Nepal. Happy 30th anniversary RCN.
Happy anniversary RCN. I'm Daniel from Costa Rica and Mexico.
Hello, I'm Iris and I'm from Iran. Happy 30th anniversary RCN.
Happy anniversary RCN. My name is Asa. I'm from the US and I was born in Evanston, Illinois. Bye bye.
Salam, I'm Dara from Afghanistan. Happy 30th anniversary RCN.
Hey, I'm Constantin from France and I live near Paris.
Hi, I am Luis from Costa Rica and I live in Guanacaste.
I am Giacomo, I'm from Italy and I live in Friuli Venezia Giulia.
Hi, I am Facu from Argentina and I live in Ushuaia, Tierra del Fuego, the end of the world.
Hey guys, I'm Wete, I'm from Angola, specifically Luanda, which is the capital.
Hi, I'm Bella and I'm from Colombia.
Hi, my name is Kiki from Bangkok, Thailand.
Hi everyone, my name is Zara. I'm from Miami, Florida.
Good day, my name is Olaf. I live on the west coast of Norway in the municipality of Askon.
Hi, my name is Esther from Seoul, South Korea.
Happy anniversary,
Happy anniversary.
Thank you so much for that wonderful video.
Leah, I'm kind of mad at you. I feel like I'm putting a lot of effort into learning Norwegian, and you're just not trying to learn Spanish.
¿Qué?
You don't even know any words.
Sí.
Which ones?
El manduco.
Do you even know what that means?
No, I sure I don't.
Well, to be fair, I don't really know what el manduco means, which is why we're going to have Cami from Costa Rica and Jasmine from Peru come out and tell you what it means to them.
Throughout Latin American history, the ultimate culture have been ever present, and they became a symbol of unity and sisterhood. The manduco is a perfect example of this. This is a folk dance born in Venezuela. It was born through the syncretism of different ethnicities that were brought through America during the colonial times.
This gave a new, unique identity that empowers community of women to take part in our student society. This wonderful dance is a clear representation of our country's cultural trait and arrived to RCN 2 years ago in the hands of a student named Norquis Valero. That, like us, left her home to explore the world and achieve what Latin Americans strive for, leaving their countries for opportunities that incite us to build a better world. So, espero que lo disfruten. Gracias.
Thank you so much to my very own Hispanic community. I must say, I was dancing a lot back there. I think I'm sweating a little bit now.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are so sad to announce that we have arrived to our final act of the night. But we are leaving you with nothing short of an amazing performance.
Yeah.
As we've talked about, this whole weekend has been about imagine. Imagine, imagine, and imagine. And we've heard it repeated and repeated. And we really think this resonates with the whole UWC mission as students, as we participated in these workshops, delving into deep themes that made us, that called us to come to UWC as inspiring change makers.
Yeah, I guess what we want to say is imagine a world that's just like UWC RCN. Just imagine that.
It's easy if you try. No help below us. Above us, only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Ooh. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. And no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. Ooh. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. Watching no possessions, I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. Ooh. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one.
Well, with that, we conclude our show. Thank you so much to Her Majesty,
To your excellencies,
to our esteemed guests,
to our staff,
students, and performers.
and thank you to Steinach and our amazing tech and sound crew, our
And-
students who are working backstage with microphones, sound, all logistics to make this show possible.
And-
to our hosts as well.
And a big thank you to Guro, who was in charge of organizing the show, and she made it possible and made it a lot of fun as well for us too.
Thank you so much, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your stay at RCN.